Search and rescue operations continue in Ukraine's capital after today's drone attack.
And in sports, 2 freshman Bobcats shine for MAC football honors. Newswatch starts right now. Good evening, I'm Haley Hollinger.
And I'm Victoria Niemsch. Welcome to Newswatch, your source for news impacting southeastern Ohio. Representative Tim Ryan and J.D. Vance will go head-to-head tonight in their final debate before the November 8th election.
The debate tonight comes a week after the pair met for what was a heated first debate. Ryan and Vance clashed over abortion, inflation, Ryan's support of President Joe Biden, and Vance's support of former President Donald Trump. The race has attracted national attention since the winner could determine whether Democrats or Republicans control the U.S. Senate. Ryan and Vance are currently in a statistical tie according to 538 polling. Ryan is in the lead by 0.2% in the Senate race. To watch the debate, you can go to www.wfmj.com, or you can follow along and get live updates by following Newswatch on Twitter at Newswatch_WOUB. Democratic candidate for Ohio Attorney General Jeff Crossman is promising, if elected, to drop the state's court appeal to reinstate Ohio's abortion ban. Crossman says a Hamilton County court was correct in their ruling to block Ohio's abortion ban due to its vagueness and putting the health of women at risk. Crossman's comments come after Attorney General David Yost appealed a decision handed down by the court, putting a hold on the state's abortion ban. The lawyers for abortion clinics argued the ban violates Ohio's Constitution, which gives citizens more rights than the federal Constitution. That ban, which outlawed abortions as early as 6 weeks into a pregnancy, was put in effect on June 24th and was put on a temporary hold on September 14th. An indefinite hold by the court has since been placed on the ban. The aftermath of Donovan Lewis's death, a 20-year-old who was shot by a Columbus police officer, could potentially have statewide impacts. Newswatch reporter Emma Dollenmayer is in the studio with more.
A group seeking justice for a Columbus man shot and killed by police are calling for the end to qualified immunity in Ohio. Friends and family of Donovan Lewis march outside the Ohio State House demanding justice and change.
Honestly, we just want to see more people care about the cause, and hopefully that will lead to some change, but it's all a work in progress.
Lewis's family and the Civil Rights for Deprivation of Constitutional Rights Amendment Committee are working on putting a state constitutional amendment on the November 2023 ballot to end the practice of qualified immunity. They say it will save lives, save taxpayers' money, and get justice for families like Lewis's who have lost loved ones in police shootings.
If a law enforcement officer goes in and kills an unarmed man, woman, or child, he can say, I fear for my life, or I thought he had a weapon, and he's going to get qualified immunity.
20-year-old Donovan Lewis was shot and killed in his bed in the early morning hours of August 30th, while Columbus police were serving an arrest warrant at his apartment. The group is also advocating for ending the execution of late-night warrants, no canine use unless it's a drug-related offense, and for this case specifically, the immediate fire and arrest of Officer Anderson.
And if you have a friend of a friend, they can be out here as well. I feel like there should be a lot more people here.
Officer Ricky Anderson is currently on paid leave as the Ohio Bureau of Criminal Investigation continues an investigation into the shooting. But Lewis's family demands an independent investigation too. I'm Emma Dollenmayer reporting for Newswatch. The findings of the BCI investigation will be presented to the Franklin County's prosecutor's office and then to a county grand jury.
Tomorrow is the voter registration deadline in West Virginia. West Virginians, if you are not yet registered, you can go to your local county clerk's office to register in person, or you can register online at govotewv.com. If registering by mail, your voter registration form must be received or postmarked by October 18th. In-person early voting begins October 26th and runs through November 5th.
Good afternoon, I'm your lead forecaster, Erin Ashley, and happening outside your window, it's pretty cold. It's been that nice fall day that I know I've been wishing for the past couple of weeks. We saw overnight temperatures reaching the low 40s 40s, excuse me, but we actually started increasing very quickly as the sun began to come out. And unfortunately, we did have a lot of clouds that were here and rolled in throughout the day, so we didn't see too much warming up throughout the day. And as these clouds just kind of have been pummeling our area from the northwest and just moving out towards the east, we can see up here with this low pressure system that's happening up in Canada. All of these clouds that are just pushing up here are just going to travel down into our area, making for a quite cloudy couple of days. And that temperature is going to feel even cooler because of this wind from the western direction. 15 miles per hour, and gusts could get as high as 24 miles per hour. And so all of these cold temperatures that you're seeing right now are going to feel even cooler, especially heading out throughout the night tonight. We're looking at a low of 34 degrees, mostly cloudy skies as that low pressure system just continues to sit over in Canada and just continues to dominate in our area. In my full forecast, I will talk about what we can expect as these temperatures continue to drop, and as close as we get to the freezing point, I'll talk about the chance for frost into tomorrow. Victoria?
Ohio's Class 2 injection wells program is being challenged by environmental advocates and local government officials. The petitioners say the US EAP should revoke the state's authority because the program violates requirements outlined in the Safe Drinking Water Act. The filing claims Ohio has failed to carry out an effective enforcement program which complies with federal standards. Class 2 injection wells are used to dispose and store fluids associated with oil and gas production. Nearly all of Ohio's Class 2 wells are located in the Appalachian region. Petitioners state a stricter regulatory framework will help protect drinking water and may reduce the chance of seismic activity. The Ohio Oil and Gas Energy Education Program says Ohio has proved to be a responsible environmental steward. The Ohio State Highway Patrol is loosening up some rules in an effort to boost recruitment. Patrol Superintendent Charles Jones announced the patrol would permit troopers to have tattoos on their arms. However, they will have to wear long-sleeve uniforms, including during the summer, to cover the ink. The patrol still prohibits tattoos above the neckline and below the wrist, with some exceptions for wedding bands, a civil union, or body art. Many police departments across the nation are relaxing grooming rules with hopes of increasing recruitment. After the break, new insider news about what lawmakers discussed on January 6th, and the impact of the drone attacks on Kiev. These stories and more when Newswatch returns.
Southeast Ohio football is as exciting as ever, and Gridiron Glory covers all the action from your team. 8 conferences bring the biggest stories from the 7-4-0, whether it's on our show every Friday night or on social media as one of our many digital games. So follow along because Gridiron Glory is about more than just winning. It's community, it's pride, and it's tradition. So remember, there's nothing better than Friday nights and Gridiron Glory.
My wife and I are raising 2 young boys, Gideon and Monarch.
We're a total PBS Kids family. We love, especially Gideon, Peg plus Cat, and Daniel Tiger.
Monarch, he's really into animals, so we usually watch Dinosaur Train or Wild Kratts. He was so much into Wild Kratts, I had to get a membership to the zoo. PBS Kids shows us the world we can go out and explore together.
And it brings us together as a family, and I really value that.
Coming up on the next Song of the Mountains. Lively performances where old tradition meets new, here on Song of the Mountains.
Thursday at 8 on WOUB.
On Secrets of the Dead, the first major archaeological dig at Pompeii in decades. Stunning discoveries.
The new chariot, it's the Lamborghini of this ancient world.
And a deeper understanding of the doomed city's population.
Our main interest is the life world of these people.
Last Days of Pompeii on Secrets of the Dead.
Wednesday at 10 on WOUB.
It's almost the end for the House Select Committee investigating the January 6 Capitol riot. A member of the panel says it plans to finish its work by the end of December, but it's not done yet. Nor are people who deny the 2020 election results, as Amy Kiley reports.
All select committees, including this one, are created for the life of that Congress.
The January 6th House panel is winding down, but it's not done yet.
We're in a position in the very near future to call the witnesses from the Secret Service back in.
Congresswoman Zoe Lofgren says the committee wants to hear from former Secret Service Assistant Director Tony Ornato. Then White House aide Cassidy Hutchinson testified. He told her about then-President Donald Trump's behavior on January 6th. Her secondhand account is that Trump's protectors told him not to go to the Capitol, and he lunged at one of them in anger. Meanwhile, here's new insight about what lawmakers discussed that day.
There was some suggestion that we do it, that we reconvene the Congress off-site. Unanimously, all of us believed that was not what we were going to do.
Now, almost 2 years later, some people still baselessly deny the 2020 presidential election results.
There's plenty of evidence. We had 740,000 ballots with no chain of custody.
That's not true, according to numerous judges, election officials, and politicians of both parties. But as the midterms approach,
will you accept the results of your election in November?
I'm going to win the election, and I will accept that result.
If you lose, will you accept that?
I'm going to win the election, and I will accept that result.
The House Select Committee has voted unanimously to subpoena Trump. If he refuses, the panel could send the Justice Department a criminal referral of contempt. Staying at Trump-owned properties is not cheap, even for the Secret Service. The House Oversight Committee released documents showing the Trump Organization reportedly charged the Secret Service excessive rates on dozens of trips when agents traveled with former President Donald Trump and his family. The panel found the Secret Service was charged upwards of $1.4 million in taxpayer money over 4 years. The documents claim the agency had to pay more than $1,100 per night at some properties, despite the Trump Organization saying federal employees would stay there for free or at cost. Eric Trump issued a statement saying the Secret Service was provided stays at cost, discounted or free.
Several explosions rocked Ukraine's capital city of Kyiv on Monday, killing at least 4 people and injuring several others. Officials say the latest attacks by Russia were carried out by kamikaze drones, small portable weapons that are hard to detect by Ukraine's air defensive. Chris Wynn has more details.
Kyiv, the capital of Ukraine, bombarded with kamikaze drones on Monday, according to Ukrainian officials who repeated their calls for Western allies to supply the country with more advanced air defense systems. Kyiv's security forces fighting back, shooting down 36 of 42 drones that were launched by Russia.
The Russians tried to destroy critical infrastructure of our hometown. Before the winter, they want to switch off the electricity and to make an attack to our power plants, stations.
The drone attacks come after Moscow fired hundreds of missiles at civilians across Ukraine last week.
Putin has had a very bad 3 months. His offensive in Donbass was stopped in mid-July. You've had this great counteroffensive by the Ukrainians. And then you had the blow-up of the Kerch Bridge, which is vital for Russian military supplies for their forces in southern Ukraine.
The Biden administration will now factor in Russia's use of these drones in its future planning as it pertains to helping Ukraine, according to a senior administration official. A pregnant woman among those killed in the strikes as search and rescue operations continue.
I suspect Zelensky has no interest in conceding any land of Ukraine to Russia because of the great Russian war crimes committed against the Ukrainian people, which includes the rape of Ukrainian women, the abduction of Ukrainian children, and massive torture.
In Washington, I'm Chris Wynn reporting.
Rescue operations are underway following today's strike. We're hearing aids will soon be available. That story still ahead.
And much of our viewing area is currently under a freeze warning tonight. I'll talk about my full forecast when we might see a flurry or two. But meanwhile, check us out on social media on YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter.
My wife and I are raising 2 young boys, Gideon and Monarch.
We're a total PBS Kids family. We love, especially Gideon, Peg plus Cat, and Daniel Tiger.
Monarch, he's really into animals. So we usually watch Dinosaur Train or Wild Kratts. He was so much into Wild Kratts, I had to get a membership to the zoo. PBS Kids shows us the world we can go out and explore together.
And it brings us together as a family, and I really value that.
WOUB is recognizing members of our Cornerstone Society. The Cornerstone Society is a group that wants to ensure the future of public media in our region. It includes people across our area who value news, entertainment, and cultural programming, as well as the educational services WOUB provides. Also included are graduates of Ohio University who took part in the WOUB Student Professional Development Program. Thanks to the Cornerstone Society for their generous support. To learn how you can be involved, email woub@woub.org.
This is crazy.
On Finding Your Roots, John Leguizamo.
A ninth grandfather? What, are you going to go to the beginning of time?
And Lena Waithe.
It feels like one big, huge blessing to be connected to all of these people.
Monumental family history.
My chest is pumped up a little bit. I do feel a little boastful.
And an unexpected ancestor.
You descend from a Native American woman.
What?
Tuesday at 8 on WOUB.
Next time on Antiques Roadshow, we're looking back at our 2008 trip to Michigan. But this treasure is certainly not in Kansas anymore.
I purchased these swords from the Wizard of Oz movie from an auction company. I paid $595 for them back in 1984.
Has the value of this movie memorabilia gone up, down, or stayed the same since our visit? Find out next time on Vintage Grand Rapids, Hour 1.
Monday at 8 on WOUB.
Welcome back to Newswatch, and I hope you've had your jacket today because we just had a cold front that just pushed through the region over this past weekend, and with it brought lots of cooler temperatures, lots of clouds, and even a nice gust or two, and so that's going to make even those temperatures feel even cooler, and especially as the temperatures drop, throughout the night tonight, we can expect to see frost advisories across our viewing area to really arise, again, because of this low pressure system that is just sitting up here in Canada, and stemming from it, we have a couple of cold fronts, and then it's just going to plummet through our area starting today. And so today we saw a high temperature in the low 50s, partly sunny. Again, with that cold front came a lot of clouds, and that low temperature is sitting just above the freezing point. And so I will talk a little bit about what that means for our area. We're not seeing too much on the radar as far as precipitation goes. Nevertheless, we still are seeing a lot of clouds above our area, and expanding it beyond our local region, you can see that up here you have a couple of systems kind of spiraling around that low pressure system, and up here you can see these clouds kind of reaching down, and it's going to cause a little bit or a chance for some chaos starting tomorrow. Tonight, the National Weather Service has issued a freeze warning for a majority of our viewing area. That starts tonight at 10 p.m. and it extends until tomorrow at 10 a.m. for this. This means that you will likely need to bring in any sensitive vegetation, as well as you might need to be able to have a couple of extra minutes heading out the door to really scrape that frost off your car, because this temperature is looking pretty bitter, really close to that freezing point, and the mostly cloudy skies are not going to help with that feeling. Again, because of that low pressure system that is just sitting up here, we've got a chance for some showers heading into tomorrow. 30% chance of showers actually. With that temperature, again, with that cold front just moving through our area, the temperature drops significantly into the middle 40s for here in Athens, and for the majority of our viewing area as well. And the low temperature, is sitting just around that freezing point. And so you can expect to see a chance for snow rise as soon as Wednesday because of that low temperature. And here on the surface analysis for tomorrow night, you can see around Columbus, we are seeing that blue color, and that's going to indicate that chance for snow, especially with those temperatures getting really bitter. And as we move into Wednesday, that just drops into our viewing area. Again, it's really just going to depend on that temperature. You can see that tomorrow, that overnight temperature is going to get to 33, and for the majority of our area in the low 30s. And by the time we hit Wednesday, we're not going to get too warm, 50 degrees, a 20% chance of snow showers. And again, that's because those overnight temperatures are really, really cold, sitting just below that freezing point. Again, we're really just going to depend on what temperatures we're seeing overnight. And by this weekend, we should expect to see some really nice temperatures, a nice big jump from what we've seen very recently. Haley?
In July, President Joe Biden signed an executive order meant to promote competition, encouraging the U.S. Food and Drug Administration to allow hearing aids to be sold over the counter. The FDA announced the rule change in August, and beginning today, for the first time, American adults with mild to moderate hearing loss can buy assistive hearing devices in stores and online. Ivan Rodriguez is in Washington with the details.
Big news today, and that is going to benefit as many as 30 million Americans.
For the first time, hearing aids can now be purchased over the counter without a prescription, exam, or fitting, following an August rule change by the FDA.
The people most helped are adults with mild to moderate hearing loss who might not take that first step.
The White House says hearing aids will soon be available at major retailers, including Walgreens, CVS, Walmart, and Best Buy, and claim this could save people as much as $3,000 per year.
That's thousands of dollars going back into the pockets of Americans.
Experts say leaving hearing loss untreated could be detrimental to overall health. Studies have shown some links to dementia, poor mental health, and increased risks of falls.
Hearing health is part of overall wellness, just as is your blood pressure, cholesterol, your weight, everything else to staying fit.
Many hope that increased availability of hearing aids will also help remove the stigma attached to wearing devices, while the increased competition could lead to cheaper, better technology in the future.
The future's bright in how we can use them and how they might be impacting our ability to track our health.
In Washington, I'm Ivan Rodriguez.
Hearing aids are set to be over the counter as soon as mid-October. If you or a loved one is in need of hearing assistance, be on the lookout at drugstores near you.
Coming up in sports, a couple of Bobcats grab MAC Player of the Week honors. Find out who's taking home the hardware when Newswatch returns.
Resistance was a necessity.
On making Black America.
Slaves were freed, but African Americans had not become truly equal citizens.
Organizing for change. And Black life, Black joy.
Creating these spaces or enclaves that allow us to feel good about ourselves and good in the world, even if the world isn't good.
Tuesday at 9 on WOUB.
Thanks to viewers like you, we've been able to tell America's stories on this PBS station. Help us continue to tell these stories now and for future generations by including this station in your charitable plans.
Supporting this PBS station through a charitable gift annuity is easy. To find out more, call the number on your screen or visit this website. Thank you.
On Secrets of the Dead, the first major archaeological dig at Pompeii in decades. Stunning discoveries.
The new chariot, it's the Lamborghini of this ancient world.
And a deeper understanding of the doomed city's population.
Our main interest is the life world of these people.
Last Days of Pompeii on Secrets of the Dead.
Wednesday at 10 on WOUB.
Breaking tonight, people shot and 8 killed.
At massage parlors.
That was my mother.
In Fulton County, all the victims are Asian American women.
What it is a hate crime.
During a time where Asian Americans were being targeted.
Maybe that's a question you should ask China.
It was an example of what racism towards Asians could lead to.
Our goal is to make sure people don't think that our community is invisible anymore.
Monday at 9 on WOUB.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Morgan Anderson. A couple of Bobcats are being recognized for their performance on the gridiron Saturday. Freshman running back C.A. Bangura is your MAC East Offensive Player of the Week, and freshman kicker Nathaniel Vacos is your MAC East Special Teams Player of the Week. Bangura led the Bobcats' rushing attack in the win against Western Michigan, with 77 yards on 25 carries with 2 touchdowns. Vacos went 4 for 5 on field goals, including his career high of a 55-yarder. Head coach Tim Alden says Vaco's success is of no surprise when they were going into the game. Quote, he says, with a huge 55-yard field goal with 10 seconds to go, we weren't sure if we wanted to take the shot. They had timeouts left, and with midfield, they really only had one option left. He said, let's do it. He certainly got the leg, and I've seen him do it in practice, and he was able to make the quick kick, which was huge, end quote. Bobcat fans can hope Bangura can keep it rolling, as well as Vacos, as the team welcomes in Northern Illinois this weekend. The two teams had similar Saturdays this past weekend. The Bobcats notched a 33-14 victory against Western Michigan, and the Huskies notched a 39-10 win against Eastern Michigan. Ohio looks for the 5th win of the season this Saturday at Peden Stadium. Northern Illinois sits 2-5 with a 1-2 record in the MAC. Kickoff for Saturday is set for 2 p.m. in Peden in Athens. The Ohio soccer team looks to get back in the win column this week after dropping 1 to Ball State yesterday at Chesa Field. Ohio's Abby Townsend was first to put one in the back of the net on the game, but the Cardinals drilled 2 unanswered goals for a 2-1 final. Ball State kept the pressure on to outshoot the Bobcats 16-10. Head coach Aaron Rodgers reflects on the game, saying that it was a game that they knew they were going to have to go in sharper from the beginning. They have given away some softer goals this year, and they know that they can defend better than that. He knows that both goals they've given up could be better if they would have defended in that case. The Bobcats hit the road Thursday for a MAC battle against Toledo. The Ohio field hockey is on a little bit of a hot streak these days. The Bobcats earned their 2nd win in a row yesterday, 2-0 against St. Francis. Ohio poured it on with 14 shots and held the Red Flashes to 7. Goalie Macy Lotz was a wall in goal when needed, with 3 saves in the shutout. Head coach Allie Johnson says this was a win that they needed. The Bobcats will take on Bellarmine on Friday. Ohio volleyball has a short rest before returning to MAC play tomorrow. The Bobcats have some momentum after splitting a weekend series with Buffalo. Ohio came in focused Saturday after dropping the 3-2 match the day before. It came down to an absolute battle in the 5th set. The Bobcats used a 3-0 run at the end to pull away in the set 21-19 and secure the match 1-2. Senior Caitlin O'Farrell led Ohio with 20 kills, and hitters Caroline Clippard and Olivia Margoli each added 17 kills. Now Haley and the Bobcats will travel to take on Kent State in the Golden Flashes tomorrow with a first serve at 6 p.m.
How do you think they're going to do?
Honestly, with the hot streak we saw on Saturday, they can come back, and hopefully it stays the same for Kent State.
Sounds great. Now, Erin, why don't you give us a last look at weather?
Thank you so much, Haley. Yeah, we're still looking at that freezing warning starting tonight at 10 p.m. It should be up by 10 a.m., but allow yourself some extra time in the morning to scrape some frost off your car and make sure you grab that winter jacket because those temperatures are getting really close to that freezing point. We're looking at 34 degrees right now, mostly cloudy skies tonight, and by tomorrow, expect some showers to roll through our area, and those temperatures will continue to drop. Mid-40s looking at the high for tomorrow, and that temperature overnight, we're actually starting to see temperatures in the upper 20s, bringing a chance for snow as soon as Wednesday. And by this weekend, we will have a pocket of high pressure dominating over our area once more, and we are tracking the chance for temperatures to climb as high as the low 70s.
Bridge Day returned to West Virginia Saturday after a 2-year pandemic-induced absence. Thousands gathered at New River Gorge, America's newest national park, to enjoy the fall foliage. But the biggest attraction was base jumping. This is the only day it's allowed on the bridge. The Brown family, who was visiting West Virginia for the event, said it was exciting to see the jumpers, and it's great to be with family and having a first-time experience on the bridge. Bridge Day is always the largest one-day event in the Mountain State, and participants
Support comes from Buckeye Hills Regional Council, helping older adults and people with disabilities in reviewing and choosing the right Medicare plan and coverage.